freedom of speech states that everyone has the right to say what they want whenever they want. And the freedom of religion states that everybody should have the choice to choose a certain faith they want to believe in and to follow. But personally, I think the freedom of religion is something a lot of people fight about today in this world. Attending a Catholic school like I have can change my perspective on it compared to someone who has been to a public school and hasn't really experienced being around a religion during school hours. During a regular day at my school, we pray together before school starts during the Pledge of Allegiance. Before classes start, we get to class and we'll pray before we start everything. We do it before lunch over the intercom, and then we also have Mass once a week and on holy days of obligation. Now, at public schools, there can't be any form of prayer led by students or teachers, because you are forcing a certain religion on somebody that can make them uncomfortable or not want to do it. Students can pray to themselves silently and talk to people around them about their faith and different types of faith in the world, but they can't lead prayer to a group or make people participate in the prayer. Teachers also can't organize prayer at graduations or ceremonies. Teachers also can't have any form of religious activity with students inside the school. Now, if they're talking about religion in the basis of history class, then that's different. But trying to force somebody to pray or talk about a certain religion they're not comfortable with is against the law. I also agree about how teachers and students should not force a religion on anyone, but in all reality, anyone should be able to express their faith as long as it's not trying to force somebody into an awkward position or make them uncomfortable. And I know that if I were to be forced into doing something that I don't feel comfortable with as to the basis of a different faith, I would be really uncomfortable. In the Santa Fe Independent School District versus Jane Doe in 2000 and was argued on March 29, 2000, is a great example about freedom of religion. Kids from a local Texas school district chose someone to lead a prayer through a ballad, and they did the prayer over the school intercom before a football game. After the prayer, two sets of parents and their student or child that were Mormon and Catholic decided to sue the school because of the prayer before. The school board didn't think that they were in violation of the First Amendment because they thought it qualified as private speech, but that indeed wasn't it. On Stacey L. Edmondson's article on Encyclopedia Britannica, she said, "Thus, according to the board, the prayer qualified as private speech and was protected by the First Amendment's free speech and free exercise clause. However, the court ruled that the delivery of such a message over the school's public address system by a speaker representing the school body under the supervision of school faculty and pursuant to a school policy that explicitly and implicitly encourages public prayer is not properly characterized by private speech." So all in all, it was a prayer that was at the school and was governed by a governmental agency. And the court ruled that since it was a school-sponsored activity, praying before them put them in a position to be involved in the religious activity. During the court case, the school argued back that the game was a voluntary activity and that they weren't forced to participate in it. It was just optional for people that were in that faith. But then the court disagreed that it's mandatory for some kids to go to the games because of pep band, cheer, dance, or anything that involves school activities. And therefore, it shouldn't be forced upon kids to be there and participate in it. All in all, I think I would agree with the court because they could have been people from the school that didn't believe in the faith and felt like they were being forced to participate in it, even though they were very uncomfortable and they just didn't want to do it. And I knew that if I were forced to participate with a different religion, I wouldn't be happy at all, because I would feel like I was going against my faith.